Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at what does it take to create an app, whether it's using no code or using traditional software. What are the main components that need to exist? And how does it traditionally get built? And how does AppAsap help us automate the process? So first off, you're going to need a server. You're going to need a physical server. You probably get that from AWS to host your application, just somewhere to host your database as well, and so on. So first off, you go to AWS and you get a server. And then you need to build a database because all apps need to store data. So we're going to have to create a database. Now we want to host this database on a server. So we're going to take this server and then we're going to put the database on top of it. And also, we need to talk to the database. So we're going to have our mobile app here. For instance, let's say we're creating Uber. So we have the mobile app. You open Uber. The mobile app has code inside of it that shows you the map and enables you to enter your destination. And let's say once you entered your destination, you're going to want to see the nearest drivers that could take you to that destination. Now, that information doesn't live on your phone because your phone is not connected to the phones of the drivers. So it doesn't know which driver is the nearest. So it has to ask this way then. It has to ask the server, what's going on? It has to ask it, where's the nearest driver? And in order to do that, let me see if I can get rid of this. So in order to do that, your app has to talk to the database and ask it, give me the nearest drivers. And for that, we need to have an interface that knows how to talk to the database and how to talk to the app. So you ask that interface, give me the nearest drivers. It asks the database replies, and then the server replies to your mobile app to give it the nearest drivers. And in order for that to happen, that interface is called an API. So that's what we need. We need an API, application programming interface. So that also lives on your server. Great. So that looks like we're starting to get somewhere with our architecture for the app. We also need somewhere to be able to see the data that's in the database. So let's say now I have users and people are making orders and someone has a dispute and wants to know why we took that much money from them. So in order for us to be able to provide them with that support, we have to be able to view all of the rides that are happening, the transactions, and so on. So for that, we need an admin dashboard. Or there's a fancy word for it in the dev community, which is a CMS, a content management system that enables you basically to create, read, update, delete all the records that you want from the database. So we need an admin CMS. And that also talks to the API to be able to talk to the database. So that's basically it. This is what you need basically to run a mobile app. Now, traditionally, if you're trying to build an application, what happens is that first you start with the requirements. What are you trying to build? So traditionally, what happens is that you sit with a business analyst and you do a Q&A. They keep asking you, what do you need? What are you trying to build? How do you need to build it? And so on. And then they produce a requirements tree or a requirements document. And then from that requirements document, the tech lead develops the database design. And in parallel to that, you have the UI UX designer developing the UI design. So this branch is going to lead to the mobile app being created, right? You're going to have the UI design, and then you're going to have the app itself, like the code of the app itself, after the UI design is finished. But on the other end, when you're creating the back end, and what happens on the server is that after you finish the database design, you get the servers, host the database, develop it, and so on. And then you develop your back end, which has the APIs and the business logic. And then once these are finished, you integrate them and allow them to talk to each other. So that's what happens traditionally. Now, in the next video, we're going to see how with AppAsap, you can automate all of that process. And just all you have to do right now is do the UI design, the app, and the integration. And actually, in the future, we're going to also be able to provide you that part in AppAsap, but we're no longer there yet. So that's an overview of what you need to build an app and how it has been done traditionally. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how can we automate that using AppAsap.